I'm honored that my wife, Christy, flew into town from Minnesota. Thank you, honey. And I just want to tell a quick story. 2 years ago, on Friday night at 8 o'clock, I stood in Kathy Span's living room with her, and we were praying. A couple hours before that, Reverend Jerry McAfee, who's the head of the State Baptist Convention in Minnesota, had called me up and said, I want you to go and talk to Kathy. So around 8 o'clock at night, I was at Kathy's house. She had lost her husband, she'd lost her job, and she had lost her home to foreclosure, and she was still in it. She had about 5 days left until the end of her redemption period when they'd start the process to evict her. And then a tornado came through Minneapolis, and the tornado damaged her house. So Reverend McAfee met her in a relief line and called me and said, go over and talk to Kathy. And I stood in her living room with her, and coming from different faiths, we both prayed. And I said, if you can keep on your feet for another week, we'll stand with you. The Northside Community Reinvestment Coalition, Jewish Community Action will stand with you. And the upshot of the story is that we put some pressure on Chase, and ultimately they extended her redemption period and then reversed the sheriff's sale, issued her a new mortgage with a big principal reduction. And Kathy is now the executive director of her neighborhood association, the chair of Northside Community Reinvestment Coalition, and she was here. She just had to fly out. Sometimes it takes a big conference to stir our spirits, and sometimes it takes standing in a room with somebody and holding hands and saying, we're going to get through this together, to stir our spirits. And I think that we have to have our spirits stirred if we're going to rebuild a just economy. Yeah. We have to have our spirits stirred. And brothers and sisters, you've all been there too. You've all been in the same room, whether it's holding hands with somebody in a foreclosed home, or counseling them, or sitting across a negotiations table, or walking the halls of power with your knees shaking a little bit and figuring out how we're going to move forward. How are we going to stay on our feet for one more week, one more month, one more year to get through it and rebuild our economy. So you've stirred my spirit. Thanks very much. Woo!
If we've stirred Dave's spirit, he has also stirred ours. It's so very important to understand what's going on in our country right now.
Yes.
There is some madness happening. I mean, it's utter madness. A third of our mortgage holders are underwater. There are opportunities for people to be saved, but we're not saving them. Our crazy, forgive me, John, Presvina, but y'all know y'all crazy. And you got good sense, but who else does? I mean, if they all had your sense, we'd be doing well. Now, see, he can't say nothing because he works for the administration. And you know,